So I was kind of curious about Garcelle. I wondered who her ex-husbands were. Like, it seems like dating is a big part of her storyline, even for the producers, which I thought is interesting that they would choose that. They don't always, even if you're single, they don't always focus on your dating. And I feel like that made me want to look at who she's been married to in the past and understand how those relationships may have defined her as a character on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I found some really cool stuff. So I'm going to take you through Garcelle Beauvais' ex-husbands in this video. Let's do it. And some observations. Subscribe, like, notify. So something you guys may or may not know is that when you're casted on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they take you into a room and they interview you about your life a little to kind of get to know what buttons might exist for you. I mean, they don't do it under that, guys, but that's pretty much what they're getting out of it is like what sets you off, what makes you cry, so they kind of feel that out. And I think probably, and I'm speculating, that maybe in Garcelle's casting interview, she might have talked a little bit about being cheated on by her ex-husband and how difficult it has been for her to date and to find someone and trust someone again, which is a button, right? So anyway, there's some insight. Now let's get into her exes. So Daniel Saunders, I guess, was a producer back in the 2000s. He has only one credit on IMDb, which is for Special Thanks on Wonderland, which was a movie about the porn king, John Holmes, that Val Kilmer plays him in the film. And I guess he had one child with Garcelle. They did not have a long dating period. They only, I guess, dated for 2 months. And Garcelle met him when she was very young, when she was a model. She hadn't yet started to become like a full-blown actress like we know her today. Garcelle said that both her and her ex-husband had lots of money and resources to help her son Oliver. That's Daniel's son with Garcelle. They had one child together. But yet he was still struggling with drug addiction. So, I mean, it gave me some insight that obviously Danielle is not doing badly himself. Like, he's in a good position like Garcelle is today. So, because she commented on it. So besides being a Los Angeles producer, Dan Saunders actually is British, and he was a British actor. And this may be why we struggle to find information about him in the US. So you guys, do you know anything about Daniel Saunders in the UK? Has he been anything in anything that you guys know more over there than over here? Because it could explain why, there's not a lot in the US about him and he doesn't have credits on IMDb. So in 2001, she gets remarried to Mike Nealon. That was only about a year after she divorced her previous husband, Daniel. In 2001, she gets married to Mike Nealon, only a year after leaving Danielle or finalizing her divorce to Danielle. And Mike is a talent manager, and it's obviously very difficult for talent managers to stay loyal to their wives for a few reasons. One, there's lots of women throwing themselves at agents, especially big ones, because it could make their career if they take them on. They're privy to all of the big opportunities in Hollywood. They have the ear of all the decision makers. So if they want to put a struggling actress in the ear of someone, they can, and get maybe a big break for one of their talent. Some of their endorsements can get like a celebrity picked up by people that would never otherwise touch them. So agents, and they have to entertain all the time, so they're never home. Now, there's a famous story of Garcelle sending an email to a bunch of Mike's colleagues because she found out that he was cheating on her with a woman from Chicago for 5 years. I mean, it's pretty gross, right? I mean, gross, like, is putting it lightly. And so she, wanted to embarrass him. So she said something like, she said, and I quote, "Tiger Woods, Jesse James, and Mike Nealon, what do they have in common? I found out today that my husband of almost 9 years has been having an affair for 5 years with some slut in Chicago. I'm devastated. And I've been duped. Our boys don't deserve this because she had 2 twin sons with Mike. So, I mean, wow. Honey, I know how you feel, sweetheart. Mine had a double life. Now, you have to give Garcelle credit because the truth of the matter is that she's had 2 marriages and both marriages lasted 9 years. So she really tries to make her relationships work when she commits. And that says a lot about her as a person. Garcelle found out about her husband's cheating in a very similar way to the way I found out. It's so crazy. It's like, why does this always happen? So Garcelle gets a text on his phone. I guess Mike was in the shower and the text just says, "I love you." And she's like, what? What? Yeah. Yeah, mine was even more dramatic than that. I don't know if you guys want me to do a video about it, but oh gosh, I found out in the worst way you could possibly imagine. It was like out of a movie that my ex was cheating. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, so that just sucked. So Mike Nealon leaves CAA in 2012 after 15 years of being with the company. Now, CAA, of course, is one of the biggest agencies, talent agencies in the world. So, yeah, you know, ICM, CAA, William Morris, right? And then there's, you know, later companies that are obviously really great. But these were the core original, you know, agencies. Endeavor, Gersh, those guys came later. So what happened was, I guess he left and he joined this company in 2012 called Kritzer Levine Wilkins. And they're a management company, not an agency. So he must have made the change from being an agent to being a manager. Yeah. So that management company that I just said he left CAA for and he went to work with as a partner was called Link Entertainment. And he was with Link Entertainment from 2012 to 2017. But then he left Link Entertainment and he started his own talent management company called Stride Management. And that is his company, probably by himself or, you know, people that work for him. So he's been doing his own company, Stride Management, for 3 years and 11 months, almost 4 years. Yeah, Mike Nealon. He's a good-looking guy. Let's see what we got. Oh, he knows some friends of mine. He knows a friend of mine called Aaron Kaufman. He's a producer. He used to work with Robert Rodriguez. I should call Aaron. I'll be like, tell me all about Mike. No, that's terrible. I wouldn't do that. This got me wondering, who does Stride Management represent, right? Well, Garcelle's ex-husband has been busy. Here's what I found out. So this is from an IndieWire article about Nicolas Cage never wanting to retire from acting. I mean, he can't really. He owed so much money, remember, in his bankruptcy that he had to like work and work and work. I'm sure he's through it now, but oh my goodness, that he had to take on like 1 million movies. So here we go. Just because Cage, by the way, has a really good taste, like he knows how to spend money. Okay, I don't know if you've read some of his extravagant stories, but oh, they're so entertaining. I love it, by the way. I'm all about it. Okay, so it says, just because Cage has no plans to stop acting does not mean he'll watch every acting performance. The actor has already gone on the record refusing to watch his next high-profile release, Lionsgate's The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The film comes from director and co-writer Tom Gormican and casts Cage as a fictionalized variation of Nicolas Cage. And he said, I'm never going to see that movie, Cage told Collider. I told I'm told it's a good movie. My manager, Mike Nealon, who is also a producer on it, looked at it. He was very happy. I'm told the audience loved the movie, but it's just too much of a whacked out trip for me to go to a movie theater and watch me play Tom Jermican's highly neurotic, anxiety-ridden version of me. So, Garcelle's ex-husband has a movie coming out in 2022, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And this must be why he probably transitioned from an agent to a manager, because there are a lot more, agents have a lot more restrictions on what they can do than managers do. Managers can do a lot of different roles. It's not a conflict of interest, whereas an agent has to be more careful. So he probably wanted to diversify and get involved in some of the creative projects he was involved, he was linked to. Well. Almost all of the pictures that Mike has produced or executive produced in the last, I don't want to say 10 years, were with Nicolas Cage. So there's obviously a really strong connection between him and, he's packaging movies with Nicolas Cage. He did have one film with Jason Momoa, who is Aquaman. Yes, that one. And that was called Braven, and he produced that movie, so that's good. That probably was a great film. I didn't hear about it, though. Did you? Anyway. Well, Garcelle really hasn't had any other boyfriends worth mentioning. I'm not even going to mention the one that she went public with because it was so short. Who cares? But I really hope she finds love. I can tell you that after I went through what I went through, I was like, I'm like going to be Queen Elizabeth. I'm just not going to date ever again. It's just destroyed for me. I'm just going to be alone forever. I'm going to be married to my gossip, like the Queen of Elizabeth was married to her country, and just be that way. But hopefully Garcelle can get over it and meet a guy. I would imagine it must be really challenging for someone as established and famous and also has 3 kids, and is a grandma now. She would hate me saying grandma. Let me say something else. How about Nana? Grammy? She'd like Grammy. Grammy's badass. Okay, if you like this video, subscribe, like, and hit that notification button. Mwah. Youngins.